I'm John Finn, and something fell behind me, but I don't care because we're having a really special video today. Today is the day I reveal what I've chosen to make my third collection out of. If you're counting, it's Doctor Who, WWE, well really wrestling figures in general, but in that 6-inch WWE Elite scale. And now, finally, I have chosen my third collection. Are you ready? Let's find out what it is. That's right, it is the new Masters of the Universe Origins collection. I was at Walmart and they had these two bad boys on sale for like 10 bucks where they're usually 15, and I had to get them because when I was a kid we had all these Masters of the Universe figures, but we didn't have the original Skeletor and He-Man. We only had the battle damaged armor ones. So I saw these, they were on sale. I was like, you know, I gotta add these two guys to my collection. They're too neat, and holy crap did I get addicted real quick. This line is awesome and it has really great potential going forward because of how deep the catalog is now in terms of Masters of the Universe characters. But let's take a quick look at why I like these so much beyond just the character depth. And just so you know, this is the full collection. There are a couple more figures up here I couldn't get in frame. You've got Fisto, there he is, and then Cronus over here, who came in the Rise of Evil 2-pack, which also came with Mr. Keldor, who, if you haven't watched either the CGI series or the 2000X series, you might not know who that is, but looking at him, it's pretty obvious. It's obviously Skeletor before he became Skeletor. But why do I like this so much? Well, one, nostalgia. Let's be honest. I'm a kid from this era, from the 80s and early 90s, and He-Man was the ish in my house. I mean, we loved He-Man. I still, to this day, love, unapologetically, the Masters of the Universe movie. And after watching 3 hours of the Filmation series a couple days ago, I gotta say the movie holds up pretty good in comparison. It's not to say that you know, our memories are bad. We had good times with that series, but it doesn't really hold up today. It's really just a long-form toy commercial. But why do I like these guys so much? We're going to take a closer look. First of all, they're almost in perfect scale with the original figures. Oops! And they're really hard to hold on to their things as well, as you can tell. So they're almost in the exact same size and scale. The main difference, though, is all the articulation is different. The original, I think you had 6 points of articulation. You had the head, you had the arms that could go up and down, you had the legs that could kind of go back and forth, and then I think you have the waist as well, but I can't remember if all of them had the twisty action. But this one you have, of course, the ups and downs, the backs and forths. You've got wings, you've got elbows, you've got wrists now. The armor, of course, still is all able to come off and switch out because they're all the same basic size and shape. But there's one more thing that this collection has that most other toy lines don't have. They're starting to kind of come online with it, but this series is almost completely modular. That means you can take apart any figure from certain points and switch out all of their parts. So see, he's just in pieces now. That's Skeletor now. And this really comes in handy with, say, like this Rise of Evil 2-pack where you get Keldor. Well, I can just pop off Keldor, so let's take his weapons off. And I'm going to do reviews of each of these as well later on, but this is just kind of a grand reveal. And you can just pop off his head. Then you've got this really wicked looking mini comic Skeletor who has these kind of jewel eyes. I don't know if you can see that, but they're kind of jeweled, so they reflect and refract the light just enough to make a difference. And then you've got a Skeletor who has regular boots and not the monster shoes, but you could still do something like, hey, I want to take this arm off him and give Skeletor this big beefy arm here. And we'll put him back together. Whoop. This little kilt thing fell off. Come on, there we go. And we'll throw on this arm here. And throw on this head. Oh, there it is. It doesn't snap, it just kind of slides on. And then you got friggin' Skeletor, the big beefy arm. And you can do that with all of the figures in terms of the different types. So you've got also the female type where they have their modular parts as well. Their heads can come off, their arms can come out. I haven't really done any of it with them yet, so I'm a little bit hesitant to do it right now, but I've done it a little bit with Becky Lynch here. Which, by the way, it's another thing about this series. It has such crossover potential. There is an entire line of Masters of the WWE Universe out there in which you get all of these different wrestling superstars in Motu scale. I mean, exact scale. They even use the same body types and stuff to where you can switch out the parts between them. Oops. And so you can pull off her arm, switch it off with another female superstar's arm. You can, I think, pull her apart at the waist. Yep, you can pull her apart at the waist. You can pull off the boots as well, move those around. If you took enough time, I bet you these knee pads would come off pretty easily. And of course, all the accessories are pretty much the same. Now, there is a certain level of genericness that comes with it all because you're going to get a lot of the same body types over and over and over and over. You're going to get a lot of the different armors over and over and over with different repaints. But man, that was the way things were in the 80s. And you were excited when you got a repaint. That just freshened up your collection and play, and it meant you could say, oh, they have new powers now, or this is a new story I can tell as to why, you know, they had these different colors, or maybe this is an alternate universe version. There's just so many imaginative play opportunities that it's insane. Get this guy stood back up. And the stuff that's coming out soon is just, oh, I'm so excited. There's a He-Man figure coming out soon that's called Anti-Eternia He-Man, and he's basically like all black, kind of like a gunmetal gray, and he has this kind of reddish hair and this dark just visage, and it's super hardcore, and I'm super excited. And my Christmas list is loaded with Motu figures. And I made a joke with my family that growing up, you know, I started with Masters of the Universe figures, then I moved on to the wrestling figures, then I moved on to music. And in the past 10 years, I've gone from music to wrestling figures, now to Masters of the Universe. I guess before or after this, it's going to be probably the Super Friends line if they ever release that again in its original 3.75-inch scale and 5 points of articulation glory. No, it had more than that. It had 7 points because I think the knees bent on those, but there was no other articulation beyond the ups and downs there. Anyway, you didn't come here for that. You came here for this reveal, and this is it. Masters of the Universe Origins. But anyway, as I always say, keep collecting the way you like to collect, whether that's keeping your figures mock, whether it's opening them for display or for play. Whatever makes you happy is the right way to do it, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Keep having fun till next time. Jonathan out.